From Southern Colorado's high-definition news leader, this is News Channel 13, where the news comes first.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us for KRDO News Channel 13 at noon. I'm Brittany Bailey.
Hey, and I'm John Carroll. We are following three developing stories for you at noon. Woodland Park Mayor David Turley has been arrested. He's accused of sexual assault on a child. We have live team coverage.
We are also following allegations of sexual misconduct against El Paso County Sheriff Terry Makita and the Equal Employment Opportunity complaint filed against him. We will tell you what the Sheriff's Office is saying about it in a newly released statement.
And Colorado Springs police arrested a Fort Carson soldier. He's accused of soliciting girls and women to watch him perform a lewd act. And we begin with the breaking news in Woodland Park.
Woodland Park Mayor David Turley was arrested and faces charges of sexual assault on a child. Turley was booked into the Teller County Sheriff's Office and posted bond. For people who live in Woodland Park, the arrest of the mayor is a surprise.
KRDO News Channel 13's Carl Winder begins our team coverage. Good afternoon, Carl.
Good afternoon, John and Brittany. Mayor David Turley lives in this area. Now, none of them saw the mayor get arrested, but when they heard from our reports and other neighbors of the crimes he's accused of, they were shocked.
This guy, always asked how things were going and, really kind of a people person. Spent a lot of time in the community, supporting the community. So, very good man as far as I'm concerned.
Buck also says until the facts of the investigations come out, he will continue to think of Mayor Turley as a good man. And I called Mayor Turley just a couple minutes ago. He answered me back, and he was saying that he says he's innocent, and he's going to court, and he says he has no further information. And we'll work to get you more information, and we'll work to get you more information as this investigation comes along. In Woodland Park, Carl Winder, KRDO News Channel 13.
Carl, thank you. Today's arrest of Woodland Park Mayor Turley creates some uncertainty about town leadership. Is Turley still officially the mayor? And if not, who's in charge?
KRDO News Channel 13's Scott Harrison is live at City Hall, continuing our team coverage. Good afternoon, Scott.
Good afternoon. Well, city leaders are still trying to answer those questions today. They gave us no clear answers when we spoke with them briefly earlier this morning after this story broke. They weren't giving out a whole lot of information. They still aren't. We do know for sure, though, that there was a meeting here with Police Chief Bob Larson and city staff members about the situation. Let's take you to video that we recorded earlier this morning. Now, the police chief said he briefed city staff members on the situation about the mayor's arrest and the circumstances, the limited circumstances he could mention surrounding that arrest, that this was an investigation that had been going on for about 3 weeks before the arrest was made this morning. And we spoke with the assistant city manager and city clerk about what the charter says, the city charter says about what happens if the mayor is not in office or when the mayor can't be in office, and this is what she had to say about that.
The mayor or councilman's office shall become vacant whenever that person is recalled, dies, becomes incapacitated, resigns, refuses to serve, ceases to be a resident of the city, is judicially declared mentally ill, or is convicted of a felony.
So listening to what the city charter says about that, it doesn't specifically address if a mayor or city council member is arrested, which is the case here with Mayor Turley. It may come under that incapacitated condition in the charter, but they haven't specifically said that yet. So we're going to try to keep talking with them, city leaders here, and try to find out more about, is Mayor Turley still the mayor? And if not, who is going to be the mayor? And we'll let you know that, and we'll keep tracking this situation for you. We're live at City Hall in Woodland Park. Scott Harrison, KRDO News Channel 13.
Now to the allegations of sexual misconduct against El Paso County Sheriff Terry Makita. The Gazette is reporting Sheriff Makita had an inappropriate relationship with 3 subordinates. Gazette reporter Dave Phillips is investigating the allegations. In his article, he writes, the Equal Employment Opportunity complaint filed by 3 commanders details affairs as well as complaints that Makita promoted the 3 women over others in the department and would berate and belittle staff.
Just moments ago, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office released a statement. It says, quote, "At this time, upon the advice of legal counsel, Sheriff Terry Makita has no comment. An independent outside investigator is conducting the investigation, and the sheriff plans to fully cooperate in every way, both legally and with the investigation." End quote. Now, we filed a Colorado Open Records request. KRDO News Channel 13's Emily Allen has been following this case, and she joins us now live by phone. Good afternoon, Emily.
Been working on getting this complaint. Now, it was filed with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The three commanders that filed this complaint sent it to Colorado Springs Gazette. Now, we submitted a Colorado Open Records request with the Sheriff's Office. EEOC complaints are confidential under federal law. In an email from the Sheriff's Office, it says, or its legal advisor says, while the confidentiality rule binds only the EEOC, the Sheriff's Office, as a participant, will also adhere to them. And we've also just received information into our newsroom from the spokesperson for the Board of El Paso County Commissioners. Spokesperson Jennifer Brown says the commissioners were aware of rumors and speculation years ago. However, it didn't receive any formal workforce complaints. And the board felt that since it didn't get these complaints formally, it would be irresponsible to take action and use taxpayer dollars to figure out if these complaints or if these rumors had any validity, because it was based on gossip. Now the board has launched an independent employment and personnel investigation. We are working on getting more information, and we'll bring more information as soon as we get it for our later newscast. John and Brittany, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Emily. Colorado Springs police say they have arrested a man suspected of soliciting girls to watch obscene acts for money. Police say 43-year-old Dustin Ridner was driving a red truck that matched the description in a dozen incidents since April. According to jail records, Ridner is an active duty soldier at Fort Carson. Officers made the arrest yesterday afternoon. Investigators say Ridner solicited a dozen women from the ages of 12 to 22 around the city, offering them up to $200 to watch him touch himself. He's facing charges of obscenity, attempted indecent exposure, and soliciting for prostitution.
We want to turn our attention to the weather now. It's been a very nice morning so far, but in light of our current unsettled conditions, Storm Tracker 13 meteorologist Marty Vanachinque is keeping his eye on things.
Yeah, things are starting to cook up in the atmosphere. Not a big surprise. Check out the time lapse from the Pikes Peak Summit House. This is from about 8 o'clock this morning, and obviously the clouds have been rolling into the area on occasion. You'll notice here as the train boards and leaves that all of a sudden, look at that, there's a little snow up there on top of the peak. That's not a big surprise, I suppose. But if you look out there, you can see it's pretty darn great. Storm Tracker 13 Live HD Doppler shows the showers that are developing over the top of the peak. The red shaded areas that you see, remember, those are the burn scars, so we will always through the warm season be tracking whether or not these showers are moving towards those scars. Now, none of this is terribly heavy, obviously, but you can see the Black Forest burn scar and the Waldo Canyon burn scar, and that's where some of this activity is beginning to develop, so it's something that we'll keep an eye on very closely here over the next couple of hours. We also have some weak showers out here over the southern mountains. Nothing real exciting just yet. Woodland Park right now 58 degrees. You can see the gray conditions as viewed there from the Greater Woodland Park Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center, but no rain yet. At I-25 in Fillmore and Colorado Springs, we've lost sight of the sun as well. And we have 64 degrees. Traffic not too bad in that area. We've seen up in the north end of town, up around Monument, is pretty thick right now. Maybe some of that is associated with pickup and holiday travelers, something to keep in mind here as you're out and about the rest of the day. 67 degrees currently at the Pueblo Chieftain Studio. Obviously, we have a bit more sunshine there, so it's actually quite nice in the Steel City at the moment. So if you're heading out and about this evening, temperatures will generally fall back into the 50s. We do think showers and thunderstorms are going to become increasingly widespread. Some of them could produce some heavy rain. Severe weather is not really a big threat for us today. But again, if we get some heavier rain on the burn scars, then we have some things to keep real close track of. We'll talk about that as well as the rest of the weekend coming up in our main weather segment. John and Brittany, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Marty. A man was arrested after an hours-long standoff with Fremont County Sheriff's deputies. The standoff began yesterday afternoon at a home in the 500 block of 2nd Street in Penrose. Investigators say when they arrived at the home, 23-year-old Robert Fenstermacher fired his shotgun out the bedroom window toward deputies. Deputies spent 7 hours trying to convince Fenstermacher to surrender peacefully. A SWAT team went into the house and arrested him.
A motorcycle accident caused traffic backups on I-25 this morning. It's a time-saver traffic alert for you. Here's a live look at southbound I-25 near the Baptist exit. The crash has been pushed to the side, and drivers are now able to pass. But you can see there that is slow going on that one side of the interstate. Keep that in mind if you are headed out that way. About an hour ago, traffic was backed up for 6 miles. Drivers were waiting as far back as County Line Road. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. Colorado State Patrol says there were no serious injuries. 2 people were killed in a crash north of Pueblo last night. That crash closed down part of I-25 for several hours. State Patrol says it happened around 8 o'clock near mile marker 117. That's about 20 miles south of Colorado Springs. Troopers tell us a moped was heading south on the interstate when a car ran into the back of it. The moped lost control. Troopers say 51-year-old Darren Capana was killed. An SUV tried to avoid the accident but rolled. Troopers say the driver of that vehicle, 61-year-old Diana Hayes, was also killed.
You just never know what can happen, so be vigilant, pay attention to the surroundings. Obviously, no attention on the phone, radio, anything like that. Make sure that you're paying attention to what's in front of you on the roadway.
2 people were seriously hurt and taken to the hospital.
A man went to what he thought was a date and ended up being robbed. The victim went to meet a woman he had met on a dating site on Vanalingen Drive near Academy shortly after 10 last night. That's according to Colorado Springs police. Now, once they met, the suspect demanded money. The victim saw another person standing behind her and gave her the money. If you have any information, you're asked to call Springs Police at 444-7000.
The popular show Extreme Weight Loss is kicking off a new season. We'll tell you what's new this time around, plus how watching might just help you shed a few unwanted pounds.
And later, find out how a chance meeting between a veteran and a winemaker led to a vintage way to raise money for wounded warriors.
Plus, a baby falls out of a second-story window, and it's all caught on tape.